Clouds of white?
Yeah, that is 90% of the sky is just white. I don't see a carrier though.
Oh.
I see a convoy.
It spawned on the other side, so...
Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, it just spawned in.
Oh, nice. Then it's close. Hello.
I'm really enjoying that. I can get a consistent 3.3 to 3.5k gore per match with Yugoda, and then I just hop into P1Y1 and double that. If I was a little more clubby and I had the option of playing Russian ships, I would really just go for that, because then I could probably do this in like 10 games.
Yeah. Russia keeps winning.
Very balanced fucking 6 seconds initial acquisition, or is it 4 now, and then 2 second, it's something like that, some bullshit fire control calculation time.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me started on the pain that is fire control in this. Like, honestly, they have such potential for putting such good systems in, and then they just sort of half-ass it and leave it there for months at a time, and then...
Don't worry about it.
Like,
wow, that is... wow.
Wow.
But the Somers had bad AA crap, but that wasn't even the fucking 5-inch guns, that was the 20 mils.
They opted, if you happen to have about an hour to look at a bunch of pictures, I can send you Alaska's plans, and then you can compare them to the in-game model and cry.
Yeah, no, that's where I sort of hope to see somebody write a report, and then I can just sort of process that.
So that's why I just keep taking pictures and saying, nah.
Yeah, HK said he would do it, so okay.
Yeah, HK did say he would fix that, so yeah, if he said he's going to fix that personally,
I
then...
wanted to. I'm
happy if you
As
want
far
to
as,
actually
like,
fix it.
Personal reports
Basically-
are concerned, I have a backlog on my end of,
Yeah, well aware that you have a backlog of theses.
Oh.
Jesus.
yeah,
Well, no, I mean, like, the way,
Yeah,
these
no, I get
reports, the way these reports can be described as theses on feces.
the Type 93 thread has started to talk about adding the Type 91 Kai to the truck, which I have been talking to somebody about that, because it is true, you can actually, they're compatible, but
I'm just waiting for the Type 95 to show up in files.
95
One day.
the
Torpedo.
Hago, oh, the torpedo, oh, God forbid, honestly.
Yeah, because we all know what that'll herald.
Yeah, I'm not looking for it. Fuck that, genuinely.
I mean-
Fuck that.
So it might be able to. There's still some left.
We've all seen the bit where Enlisted is getting high-res
Go EU.
Kaga
I
or
need-
something.
Quickly.
I don't know if I would call that high res. I thought that was just sort of they ported over the.
No, that's a new model.
Oh, it's a new model. That's very
Definitely
cursed.
that's definitely not because we don't have Kaga in game. We have a Kagi.
do.
I swear we have
No,
a
we have
Kagi and
Kaga.
not Kaga.
We have both.
Is a Kagi Kagi's the bridge on the left? Yeah.
Kaga is the sloopy, the funny funnel. That's what it is.
They all look funny. Japanese carriers are
Kaga's-
just weird.
Kaga's funnel in particular goes down.
No, I know, but Kagi's the one with the island on the left, right?
Think so?
In which case, the new one they've got isn't Takagi. But
Yeah,
it might actually be one of the dragons.
I'll have to check. In fact, I could probably ask either
there's a
Guggentor or Mike or
there was a
somebody
picture of
who's-
it.
Let's take a look. I remember seeing a really funny bow on the preview images for that.
Yeah, and Japanese carriers are unique, shall we say? They're boutique products.
Kokaku were pretty well designed. I mean, they were designed from the ground up to be carriers, so that helps a lot. But they were considered some of the best carriers when they were made.
I mean,
That is... what the hell is that?
yeah, where... Somebody posted it somewhere, and...
Wait. Please zoom it in so I can get it. That does not look like a Kaga. That very well could be an Akagi.
listed as being carriers.
On
let's
the
see.
left-hand side.
That has...
Was it that Hiryu that they got? think that is Hiryu.
Well, if I could see the back of the deck.
Not Kaga. That's definitely not Kaga.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hiryu. It's just Hiryu.
No, they have multiple carriers.
I
There
know,
are at least
I know.
2 different carriers.
There's an American one, and there is a Japanese one too. I
The
remember.
American one looks like a Yorktown.
I haven't seen the I haven't
Pork
seen
down.
the US one.
Did we take it a Dutch?
Yes.
Hello.
Aha.
If you join us in EC,
Yeah,
we're
I
10
think that would
minutes
be
in.
Hiryu. It's
Oh.
definitely, and Hiryu was a decent
That's what I
carrier.
told you.
Or-
EU
Yeah.
server.
Not sure. Is it full yet? Or
It's not
Had a
full
few
yet.
design concerns,
There's like
but
a spot or
overall-
2 left.
yeah,
For her time, she was a decent enough carrier. It looks like a Hiryu.
should be a Malta. Yeah, quickly. It's getting filled up.
I mean, you'd think they would have just said which carriers they were, since, you know...
Yeah, game decided to say analyzing files.
well, there's still
Oh, yeah,
a spot,
yeah.
maybe? But what's
Well,
shooting me?
no.
I've kind of stopped paying attention to the game. There we go, I'm being shot to the right. Where is it? There it is it. What is it? It's a destroyer. It's Kraut. There's a twin turret.
Oh, it's actually very close. Oh shit.
It's Z25. Actually, I don't remember what the answer I got at, because I asked a German friend whether it would be Red 25 or 25.
Right, putting up game. Can you still take only 6-7?
But no, you can take 7 out.
You can take 7
Yes.
You definitely can take
Good.
7
On the planes, you mean, yeah? You can take 7 out.
It's full now.
Fug. Also for ships.
Yes. They pick us up.
15, 16, yeah, game's full.
Fuck.
Tragedy.
Anywho.
Yeah, let's just bully somebody on the enemy team out.
I mean, you guys need to bully someone who turned to
Yeah, I'm just presently being out DPS'd by a German destroyer.
Tragic.
Really do be
By the
doing.
way.
We like that.
That's yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looked at me and I'm down 3 turrets, so...
Some sad.
Meanwhile, I put a pair of shells straight through its forward turret and it's still fine.
Can we like and subscribe?
Yeah,
Much
actually,
higher.
sure, go ahead. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be very helpful.
Yeah. I think I already am.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure I have you on notifications right now, so...
I have you on notifications, but YouTube decides to notify me about 1 out of 3 things you upload, so...
I mean,
To be fair, that's probably on me, because I just sort of, like, encode a whole bunch of them at once and then just send them out. Basically, whenever my PC starts to get a little
It'll just tell me that you've uploaded something one day, and then not tell me for like the next 3 weeks.
Oh,
Interesting.
that can
Usually
happen.
get a notification when Opti uploads something.
Anyway,
I have not uploaded in a while. I've encoded a lot of stuff, but that allowed me to sort of clear enough space that I didn't have to worry about uploading. So, next upload's going to be like 20-something videos, because, yeah. More, actually. I want to get rid of, like, 80 gigs of stuff.
woo, and I managed 56 points. Eh.
Strong, John, strong.
Gunners
I'm
are
in
searching for
Moffat.
airborne and
Moffat
surface targets.
sucks.
No, not really.
Oh,
I've
that's a
been doing pretty well
caco
with
in
her.
my face.
There's a what in your face?
Caco.
A cuck. A cuck. Oh.
duck.
Haha.
Oh, this was
Did you-
joint in progress. Okay.
Did you know that cock is the word for shit in Dutch?
Very
Or
nice.
one of the words. We
Oh.
have different words for shit.
I'm guessing it's etymologically tied to caca.
So there's either an ass in his face or a
But
cock.
caca in Finnish is going to be completely etymologically separate to anything Dutch because they're completely different families.
It might be a loan word in Finnish,
Might be a
because
loan
caca
word.
is also Latin, very Latin heavy.
Are you using it in everyday speech?
Kaka? I don't think so. I don't think people talk about shit in everyday speech.
Yeah,
No,
Kak is a pretty common.
I mean, that's
Merit
the
term
word that they
for-
would use for it, or not, or it's just an archaic or something.
Oh, yeah, archaic versus common.
And Kak is a pretty common term for it here, to be honest.
Yeah, again, I think it's
Just
the
for,
term
like,
itself just became loaned all over Europe,
Have a
and
look.
just sort of manifested in a variety of ways. Because Kaka is also present in Polish, which is Slavic, and the one sort of link there is that Poland was very involved with the Latin world.
Yeah. Also helps if I can type and don't start trying to type Wololo into the dictionary.
Understandable.
Kaka, Finnish. Descriptive origin akin to Estonian Kaka, Swedish Kaka, and Russian Kaka. Somewhat
It's all
childish
Kaka.
for...
Honestly, if it's linked to Swedish, might have some link with Dutch.
It doesn't have... It doesn't
Look
have
for
an etymology.
CACA and see if that has any relation, because that's
What's
basically
funny
the
is-
same meaning with the same sound. So
On
I
the
mean,
same
if that
page.
doesn't have
On the same page is Kaka in Japanese,
interesting.
and then Kaka in Norwegian Nynorsk. Wait, and the Norwegian Nynorsk thing in English... Wait. Okay, so Kaka in English is a loan word from Japanese, which means berry berry.
As in the disease?
Interesting.
Berry,
Yes,
berry
the
spelled how?
disease.
Oh, yes. Okay, it was Kake. Okay,
Yeah, that Kake.
yeah, that was some rough shit.
Which,
Eat your vegetables, folks. Eat your meat.
which is
meat.
also
But but like
Berry
plants-
is a disease where
thiamine
it's basically
deficiency. It's a
severe malnutrition because you didn't eat anything but rice.
scurvy.
Not quite
it's
scurvy.
It's a
Much
B
worse.
vitamin. It's B6, is
Yeah.
it?
Rather than vitamin C, yeah, something like that. It's the one that you find in most what they call nitrogenous elements, which is just protein.
I'm not doing very well this
Protein.
English.
Can't be something I suffer from.
Mr. Rower.
And that's kind of the point. Basically, the problem was in the IJN was that they would allow. Well, no, it's that they basically allowed servicemen to have as much white rice as they wanted, and that's why a lot of people joined the Navy. And the problem was that they would then spend their ration only on rice and nothing
I
else.
suppose that explains why the IGN went so heavily into curry.
Yeah, it's got a lot of. There was a significant amount of reform conducted. A doctor basically investigated and determined because it very became a sort of like racialized disease, and that only Asians can get it or some crap like that. And so a doctor basically investigated and went, "Oh no, it's because nobody's eating their vegetables or meat."
They're not
'cause
eating anything but white rice.
what happened was it was found to be a sort of class dividing disease, as in wealthy people who could afford to eat rice in the regular and thus didn't feel sort of compelled to gorge on it would balance their diet out and not suffer from it. But if an individual came from a rural or poor background, even if they're an officer, it was just their dietary habits essentially. But and what was manifest was notable was that this didn't happen in French or British navies, for example.
No, because they had enforced like rations.
Yes. Well, also because their sailors didn't feel compelled to eat a luxury enriched carbohydrate and nothing else.
Also because, I mean, with regards to like, the Germans had sauerkraut out their ears in the Navy type thing,
Right.
which kind of sidesteps the issue there.
Yeah. There's definitely sort of other dietary practices that are a product of their own
Yeah, like-
socioeconomic circumstances.
Also,
That being
as a
said,
fun fact, the Brits wanted to defeat scurvy with lemons, right? But
Yeah.
we couldn't get lemons because lemons were all in French colonies, so that's the reason we're limeys.
yes.
I think we did. I don't know what we treated scurvy with, but I think we did it with lemons.
Lemons were a
lemons.
popular one for most navies.
Just citruses in general.
Sauerkraut was the other option, and then, yeah, there was limes because Jamaica.
Yeah.
Limes were actually a part of the original Caesar salad, as opposed to... This is one of the tasting history episodes. Great. I did not know that.
Yeah, like, honestly, I don't think during colonial times we had that bad of a relation with France.
Well,
Most-
no, because
most-
you had the shared hatred of the British.
That's what I just was about to say. We had the shared hatred of the British.
The Anglo-Dutch Wars.
Because the Dutch had colonies in East Asia, didn't really compete with the French there, basically.
That's it.
Like, there wasn't really a geopolitical conflict between the Netherlands and France, besides, I think, when there was a French invasion of that area.
I will say, the Dutch basically liked playing both sides through the entire colonial period because they were either allied with the French or allied with the English, depending on the time of year.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, their geopolitical situation was also very sort of unique in the sense that they could have been easily rolled over on their homelands, but
Yeah.
their overseas territories were quite vast, and
Yeah.
that sort of discrepancy really leads to some interesting geopolitical posturing from the Netherlands. The way that they decided to act on the world stage was very dependent on that, and it's why they also played as a bit of a middle power, even though they were a colonial empire.
And
Poor
Because,
guy.
so, like, the Dutch were instrumental in the defeat of Napoleon, for example.
Yeah.
That guy says, "It's asking why is like, how the hell is Domo that fucking strong?"
So what?
They apparently just got slapped by an Omaha or something.
That's
Oh.
me.
Oh,
I was slapping him
What you in?
an
in a
Omaha.
rally.
Oh, you're in Omaha. Okay,
He's
It's-
in
it's not
Raleigh
the
and he's
ship.
topping the game.
that's pretty hilarious.
He's been doing that all day.
Is it Omaha kind of supposed to be like a shit?
That's impressive. Given last I heard he was in a Kronstadt. How do you get to Omaha?
Well, other
Did they add him?
Merman.
Add months to the game. Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to. The Russians are going to run out of ships so quickly that they're going to end up just having an entire line of foreign cruisers and things.
Arkhangelsk. Don't worry
I
about it.
mean, I want Dutch cruisers in the German tree as well.
I personally think putting the Dutch cruisers in the German tree is probably the best bet, just because they share similarity, were made partially by the Germans, and the Germans could use them.
So
Yeah.
the Netherlands
I
is
mean-
basically Germany's Thailand.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say so.
But I think about it. What about Sweden?
Sweden is.
The Swedes don't need Dutch.
And
Okay.
I mean, Sweden, like, we also aren't very always buddy with Sweden.
Well,
I
that
think.
and, I mean, not even politically, but just geographically.
Like, we're more buddy with Germany. Like,
Since they own all your tanks, yeah.
well, even historically, even. I think one of the only conflicts we have actually had against Germany was World War II.
And that's because they just
That's-
inserted themselves into Uranus without asking.
Yeah,
the
like-
two nations that I would probably see
We were-
Netherlands being added to reasonably would be either the UK or Germany, basically because of historical
I will
and logical ties.
live
But Britain doesn't
shit
need them.
if we had get added to Britain.
Because that
Yeah,
doesn't
it's-
make sense, other than, like, ABDA or something.
Yeah, again, it's not like it's a critical priority for content for the UK. The UK is not starved for
Well,
content. In
and
fact,
besides that,
they have the
like-
largest. I think. Russia, I think, is still largest.
yeah, probably.
That said, though, shy of
yeah,
paper, we've basically
so-
got the peak of British cruisers.
Yeah, so what would be like the really reasoning behind adding Netherlands to Britain?
Oh, because the Netherlands invaded and colonized Britain way back.
Oh yeah, no, that's you know what you do in that case. You change the name to the British tree to the actual Dutch tree.
Or just call it Greater Frisian.
But I think my point was basically just that between Sweden and the UK, like I'd rather if that was the choice, basically. So in terms of candidacy, probably Germany, UK, I don't know if Sweden's even on the
Germany is
list.
the logical one, and as much as I hate giving the Germans free stuff, it's the logical thing because Germany
Well, they
would
need it
benefit from
for-
what the Dutch could bring.
Yeah, the Germans actually suffer in terms of naval, as strange as that sounds,
In the middle,
treasure
on the
department.
bottom, yeah.
They are bloated as fuck in terms of capital ships and even boats.
Just go
in fact,
figure.
it's either them or the Russians or the British have the most like content. One of the three.
Let's go figure, the German World War II Navy was a handful of capital ships and a bunch of destroyers.
Most of the current in-game cut stuff is from World War I as well.
Yeah,
And then we got the Elbing.
yeah. And then instead of getting a useful cruiser, they're gone.
I mean, they needed the 4-7.
Yeah, but
So-
she's supposed to be equivalent to a Fletcher then. That's the thing, is that if anything is added at 4-7, I am going to equate it to a Fletcher.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
Fletcher wins that competition.
Powerful for 4-7.
Fletcher might be too powerful
know.
for 4-7, yes, but Elbing is definitely not.
No.
Oh, that's a Pittsburgh shooting at me. Right. I've just basically been tanking the entire enemy. I'm tanking more damage in NOLA than I am in
Oh, you're
Pittsburgh.
A. Yeah, no lies.
NOLA tanks more damage than Pittsburgh does. Go figure, the ship with less armor and less armament is better,
Oh, we are fallen.
because it's smaller.
Wait, are you capturing C? 'Cause-
No, I'm sitting about...
Trying.
Yeah,
is Mag captain?
it's just not.
Oh, good.
Trying, but no, I'm not even close. I have to fight of them.
Oh, I can bring Wyoming
on PD.
I think I'll
I
actually
actually think that crossing the T is a viable strategy in this game. Just because you knock at all their guns, you just pummel them to death.
You say crossing the T is a viable strategy, but if they hit you first, broadsiding this game is a death sentence.
I mean, I maybe this is just destroyer gameplay, but it's working quite well. I don't really need to worry about, like, if I get hit by 2 guns when I'm offering them 4, I don't care, right?
You know, destroyer guns just sort of... Or destroyer turrets just take about 2 seconds to cease existing.
Attack him.
Hey, does
Yeah,
anybody
that definitely
want
helps.
to push the A point with me?
Gunners
Yeah,
are searching
once I
for
die.
airborne and surface targets.
Cool, because I'm a square.
He do be there. Or maybe
Are
he
you-
wasn't, and therefore...
Are you aggress?
Oh, people are spawning here now. Okay.
No, fuck my long swords.
Zam.
I guess I will join you, Joram.
Okay,
Oh, you sad him.
I'm a square,
Where is
and I have
Square?
12-inch guns.
Are you Wyoming?
Yes. How many other squares are there? Ow.
What about?
Let's see.
So is Arizona actually good now, or
Nope, just bearable.
Wait. Kaken. Archaic singular present subjective of Kaken. In Dutch.
so? Yes,
Which
Oh, in
is
Dutch.
from
Kaken
Middle
in
Dutch.
Dutch is taking a shit.
Yeah, which is from Middle Dutch Kaken, C-A-C-K, which is presumed to be from the Latin.
So Kaken in Dutch is really just informal language for taking shits.
Which is from the Latin, presumably from the Latin anyway.
Please and desist. Thank you. Wait.
What the hell is Negerhollands?
You can't say that.
Lord.
No, it's a... Oh,
Yeah.
right. It's Dutch,
Yeah.
it's Dutch West Indies Creole. Right. Wait, no, one's spoken in the Danish West Indies? Wait, what?
Danish.
When did Denmark
Danes?
have the West Indies? Yeah.
Now known as the US Virgin Islands.
Sorry, the Danes controlled the U.S. Virgin Islands. When did this happen?
From when they annexed it in 1672.
I keep forgetting that Denmark was a real country back then.
Denmark used to
wait.
be a country.
Denmark used to actually like have colonies.
Denmark,
Yeah, they used to be.
What?
So,
Which is a weird. I know this information, but I keep forgetting it.
so
Strange.
Denmark, Norway, in 1672 annexed St. Thomas, and then in 1718 annexed St. John. In 1733, they purchased St. Croix off the French West India Company.
Oh, they just bought everything.
And then in 1754, the Danish West
else were
India
they
Guinea
colonized?
Company went bankrupt. So Denmark, Norway just took direct control of the colonies. And then in 1801, British occupied them during the Napoleonic Wars. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it should be remembered. Denmark's still a colonial nation right now, or colonial kingdom, empire. What do you even call it?
Denmark is technically a kingdom, yes.
They own Greenland.
Yeah, that one.
Iceland's an independent nation.
No,
but Greenland,
Iceland is green, Greenland is ice. That's the issue.
yes.
Don't worry
Well,
about it.
Greenland has some green now, and it's getting a surprising amount of it.
Greener.
But all things to consider, the main thing is just that they are.
Becoming green, the world is healing.
I don't know if the world is healing.
Remember, the reason it's called Greenland
That's
is
the
just
joke.
advertising.
Yes, it's a
Viking
marketing
advertising
campaign.
campaign.
Marketing campaign.
Yes.
Guys, I want an ad blocker. Greenland is now
Oh,
Iceland.
good deal.
Iceland is Greenland.
Fix it. We did.
We're gonna
better.
we're gonna class action
Same
lawsuit the Danes because it's false advertising.
Let's fucking go.
Dansk will pay settlement.
Yes, and then remember
Dansk
that
skill.
they named Nova Scotia Vinland because they put mines there.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Understandable.
And then the British call it Nova Scotia because they put Scots there.
well, basically it's like Scotland. I mean, Canada is basically just Scotland on steroids.
Scottish.
They called it Acadia at one point, so I mean I don't know what that means, but
Acadia? That's French though.
yes. That's why we have the Cajuns.
Yeah, I know. Acadia was the French colony in...
Shit.
I just had a torpedo go straight past me, and then it exploded. And then I got my
The happy ending.
props deleted.
Zan.
Right.
It went through
God, I
me.
love server.
Repel. And then a Belfast HE bugged me. Yay.
As you do.
Oh god. Wow.
Oh, hello. You are a
Are you a grass?
that's an isle too.
I'm really enjoying playing the US.
This feels like a large quantity of sarcasm.
Yeah. Because Helena is pretty useless against anything that's bigger than a destroyer.
Bruh.
The 8-inch cruisers don't really hurt anything.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah,
saying
I'm gonna,
Helena-
It was a hot
You're-
take,
wait.
Jerome.
You're saying Helena is more useless than anything against anything larger than a destroyer.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna assume that
I
this
do not
is,
know what you're smoking, but give me some of that shit.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but when I'm getting out DPS by a frickin' Leipzig,
It's impressive
You're
that the guy from the
doing
Netherlands is
something
asking
wrong.
for some strong shit.
and then the 8-inch cruisers are basically pointless
I guess against the Helena, yes.
against literally anything else as well.
I don't know about that.
The destroyers are crap, personally, because they have no survivability.
Bruh.
Oh, you
Disagree
You don't need
very heavily.
survivability when you can kill everything.
I mean,
It's not even like they're that weak either. In terms
I
of
can't
their
kill
ability. Let me be
anything
real with you.
because I get looked at by literally anything and I have no guns.
That's destroyer gameplay for you.
Yeah, let me
And then
just
whilst
be
I'm
clear
trying
here.
to
You're
process the
neither in
fact-
a unique position in that sense, nor in especially a bad position in that sense when you
And
play
then,
the US.
whilst I'm trying to process that my destroyer guns have ceased existing from a single breath of air in the general direction from across the map, I explode.
I feel like you're just cursed. Like I said, you're probably cursed by a druid.
Poor Jerome.
I mean, the only thing I can somewhat agree with is US destroyers being somewhat easy to blow up.
Yeah, if you aim for the ammo, but if you're playing a Moffat, for example, you just bow on and it's surprisingly
You just
easy
bow
to not
on,
die.
and then you can't kill anything because your guns are dead.
What? You have four guns? Bruh!
I can't kill
Yes,
anything.
I bow on successfully in a fucking Harukaze. It has one frontal gun.
Oh
I
yeah.
am currently at 18k damage with 11 kills and 2 air kills. Like, I don't know how to describe this to you,
Nice.
but it's not real. This is a shittier ship than all of the fucking 5.0 US ships.
Have
all
you
of
just
the 4.7
considered
ones, in
that
fact.
I'm bad?
I mean, these are import ships. Like, the playstyle is you bullet hose. Like,
Yeah, and nothing happens.
they... I'm
dump
literally
400
choking down an
shells as
SKR
a-
right now.
Okay, so I was fighting a Helena in a Helena earlier,
Oh, he just died. He just exploded.
and I was just doing nothing to it.
Where you're just shooting HE at it all in the same place.
I was actually spamming AP at it and trying to hit all everything. And
I'm using Mark 46, but I
at
probably shouldn't
10k,
have to.
I wasn't hurting it.
Like with
was-
Cleveland, what I
feel
usually
like
do
you're
is
engaging too far out with
I'm-
your ships. Like
I'm
you're firing a
engaging
10k
too
with a
far
pirate
out.
ship, which
Yeah,
I mean, honestly-
I'm using a 6-inch ship within its combat range because it's intended to
don't,
be used
don't
at
think
16.
about it from a historical perspective. Think about it from
Yeah.
a gameplay perspective. Get comfortable with your guns, and then start firing where you're comfortable. That's the way you should think about it.
Yeah,
Don't
the
think
issue
about
is that depending on the
1.5
gun, I'm
score.
comfortable at
Let's go.
substantially different ranges. Like with Hood, I'd gotten comfortable shooting at like 20k, but
I mean, like
Yeah, but
with
that's the point.
Kronstadt, I
Yeah.
tried to engage within 8k or some shit. I know it's a very different kind of shit, but like
Yeah,
with-
I would
with-
say I'd recommend you try expanding that a bit because Crohn's does very well, like at absurd ranges.
I mean, yeah, like I do both, but when I can, I just push in hard and force them
fair, yeah.
to
which admittedly
like,
is partially
force them to not
because
be able to push.
Gaijin's complete farce of a fire control system doesn't let you fire
mean-
at ranges greater than 1905.
It does?
Oh, that's 4 chickens, 4 loot boxes, and
No, I'm
one
saying we're
piece to
fighting at
take.
combat ranges that were, pre-1910.
Yeah, there's a difference between realism and fun in here because like
And it's not fun.
Well,
nor
I
is it
wouldn't
realistic.
mind them making. Yeah, I wouldn't mind realistic combat ranges with realistic fire control. That's like. let me just be clear. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's a bad idea to strive for that. I think
Yeah.
the big problem is just you need to focus on what the game is like in the current state to succeed in it, essentially.
The issue is I
That's the
can't
sort of-
succeed in the current
So-
state of the game because it's so far removed from what reality is that I have no idea
Yeah,
what to
but-
expect.
the thing is, you're trying to treat it like the game is mimicking reality.
It's trying to
It's-
mimic reality. They're just doing it
It's
half-assed
mimicking
wrong.
like
not.
League of
I
know
Legends.
it's
I don't think it is.
Vehicles are part of real life. The rest
Yeah.
is all fiction.
Yeah, that's like the thing with Warfare. People treat it like a simulator, but it's only like the vehicles try to be represented in terms of appearance,
And that's about it.
and
But
and
The
the-
mechanics as well are, in principle, more realistic than a lot of games because it's
yeah, the thing
your
is,
HP bars are more obfuscated.
think about it this way.
Best to describe it.
if they didn't want people to treat it as if it's supposed to be representative of reality, they wouldn't let you report things that are wrong.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's not
Almost.
like it's an academic simulator, so we have to understand there's in between. My point is basically that we're striving to that. I'm okay with the directionality of gameplay to go towards realism, but I also accept that the game right now is not in a realistic state for something like fire
Yeah.
control for naval.
But it's
So,
also not a
like-
realistic state for anything else to do with naval.
Well, there's things that they
Yeah.
do realistic, there's things they do less than realistic. The point is
Splitting
basically just that
Fires,
when it comes to succeeding in gameplay,
Bells.
it's important to accept that reality
Good
and to
shells.
Oh, if
basically
you haven't gotten your Kronstadt,
armor.
play organically, essentially. That's the best way to describe
Yeah, I
it.
try to. It's just typically whenever you give me advice, it ends up working about as well as slapping myself with a rake.
I'll do what I can to help. Oh, also, so I'm only one. Oh, I got Kyle. Sorry, I'm just like excited for the last unlocks. Hello.
You're just like, play US Light Fleet and just hold left mouse button and you win. And I just end up being in severe headache.
I will say that I've just been. I'll put this in point, but I've just been using 5-inch 38, 2 5-inch 38 ships, in fact, and I got exactly that. And I got surprisingly decent results from it. Like, look at this, This is like
But,
20k
like-
damage, and look at all those loot boxes, dopamine, brain, serotonin.
So for Operation Summer this year, or whatever we call
Yes.
it, I had like 45 matches to do the event, yeah?
Right.
And ignoring the like 3 on top of that where I tried playing Japan because you suggested that wouldn't be a
Yeah,
terrible
that was pretty fun. Yeah.
And it was just pain and suffering because PGO2 is terrible.
It's definitely not.
It definitely is.
Bruh.
honestly, I also think you're kind of overstating like bad matches in comparison with good ones.
Out of the 45 matches, basically, that I played in Atlanta, I liked maybe 4 of them.
Like, again, I think it's important to look at the game from basically develop an organic sort of game feel and not try to sort of like forcing 5-inch gameplay engagements at 10 kilometers is not going to end well in the sense that you're sort of
but
one
playing
thing that you do when you
Atlanta
shoot
knife
guns.
fighting range just ends badly as well.
No, it doesn't. That's the point. It does
because I
very
just
well.
lose all my guns and explode.
The main point is that when you're going to start opening and fight, for example, don't announce your presence to the server, basically.
Kind of hard when I'm spawning and getting shot at by 6 people already.
It's important to when you
I don't
especially
think,
roundabouts,
honestly,
choose your plan of attack. Like spawns for cruisers are, like, I will agree they're bad, but
Okay,
Atlanta
on
still
a,
can do
on
very
a
well with
map with a singular spawn that I am not allowed to pick anything about where I spawn, in what direction I spawn, or anything about other than just when and whether to spawn.
it. Yeah.
I have no options other than to spawn and immediately be focused down by 6 Helenas, you know?
Oh,
It's...
like,
that
there are reasons why you can succeed in a cruiser, and there are reasons why you can struggle in a cruiser. Generally speaking, yes, the spawns are bad, but you can still actually path to decent positions, and
Not
Atlanta's
if
not
you're
slow.
dead by the time you make it there.
There are Atlantas that make it. That's my point.
Yeah,
So there is a
you
difference.
must just be
That
really
difference
bloody
can be-
lucky to not immediately get hosed.
Bro, I don't have the same. I don't relate to the issue you have at all in Atlanta, and I have, I think, around 60 matches in it. Maybe more, maybe around
Just
80.
check my stat card right now, okay? Like, so US Blue Water, yeah. I'm at with Atlanta. I have 51 wins out of 103 battles, 60 deaths,
Okay.
19 plane kills, 168 ship kills.
Sounds like you're doing fine. I mean, it's not great, and something
it's
I'd
not.
expect. I'd expect more of an Atlanta than that, but it's not like you're doing sort of especially bad in
It's
that
just
ship.
meh.
I mean, that's
At
the
best.
point where I would disagree. I would say the ship is under-tiered.
I'd say it's
but-
under-tiered, yeah, sure, but my issue is the way the tiering system works is it's based entirely on gun caliber,
To an extent, yeah.
other than
Oh, well.
outliers.
Yeah, other than like
Trento.
Kronstadt and yeah, Trento got pulled up though, thankfully.
And don't
Although
mention
now that
Kronstadt because
severely nerfed Italy.
don't mention Kronstadt because that's a case of the upper end not going high enough, so they've just dumped anything that's too good for 6.3 at 7.0 now.
Yeah, it's, I mean, too good for 5.7. Which is actually probably a good godsend for 5.7. Like,
Yeah, because
Yeah, so-
now you can only fight Arizonas as opposed to Kronstadt.
you can also fight Marias, so
Yeah.
that's still there.
Yeah, so about Atlanta, I have 32 wins in it, 61 matches.
So that's about the same
30
as slightly better win rate than me.
Yeah, 52%.
As opposed to 49.
So,
Mine's, let me go find mine. I realize I can't check my stack
could
right now because I'm
I
in
continue a
Mac.
bit? Yeah, and then 30 deaths and 123 kills.
Yeah,
Where
your
is
KD
my-
is like double mine.
Yeah, so pretty much what I tend to do in Atlanta is just see if I can push around islands and gun for islands, because if you're out in the open, you die.
Have we run out of things to shoot at?
You can, I can open water gun. Like, it's not that hard to do if you know what to target.
Yeah, and you need to
The main
maneuver.
thing is just, you don't start the game open water gun boating.
Yeah,
I am
exactly.
currently looking at my stat card while burning, but I have 37 deaths to 141 kills, 35 air kills, in whatchamacallit, in 45 games, 66% win rate. That's my current Atlanta.
Alright, lots
Yeah.
of air contacts over the island right now.
Yeah, so like one thing with
EA
one thing with Atlanta is, honestly, a lot of people that play Warfare are kind of stupid.
You don't say.
And
I mean,
pretty
you
much.
can fight good players in Atlanta and beat people.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff.
Exactly,
what?
exactly. But I'm not talking about people in Atlanta. If you would let
Sorry, I
me
just
continue
walked.
talking.
Okay.
So yeah, one of the things is if you spawn in Atlanta and start shooting at things, people shoot at things that are shooting them. Generally, that's like one rule of thumb,
Yeah.
I think. So if you don't start shooting people, people usually won't shoot back.
My issue with
More importantly,
Atlanta...
even if it's being shot at, people will shoot at things that they'll look for tracer fire. So they'll basically use their directionality to go, oh well, there's something sending a lot of light this way. What, like, even if they're not being themselves shot at, they'll see that and they'll just gravitate to firing at it. So
The
you
issue
don't
with
want to
Atlanta
know that.
is that I'm usually shot at before I've even opened fire.
that can do with pathing. I don't know how you open up, like where you position and where you move.
Wait, 3 seconds. Hit.
Which map are we talking?
Like I said, it sounds like
Literally
you're cursed.
Yeah. Also, since
Are
that's
you?
That's
Like,
there's not enough details there for me to really get a
mean,
reasonable
I basically-
idea on why you're struggling there,
Like,
but
I record like literally every single match I play at this point, so
yeah, the ones I saw, I already gave my comments about gunnery, but
well, admittedly, I think the
Positioning
gunnery probably
could have
got
been
better
better,
over
but-
the course of it, but I don't like the 5-inch 38's ballistics.
Oh no, they're trash.
that's just practice.
Yeah,
no, they're not trash. They're
They
fine.
are trash. It's an AA gun
No, they're
first
not.
and foremost.
They're fine, my dude. 792 is fine. Like, genuinely, as long as you're not firing at 15 kilometers, the ballistics is absolutely
It's
fine.
almost like the gun's maximum range is 14.
Yeah,
Like, honestly, I try to stay within 8 kilometers.
yeah. Again, just sit where you're comfortable. But the ballistics are not the problem,
Yeah, but I
honestly,
mean, like-
because you have so much time to adjust because you have such a rate of fire.
You have such a rate
Any
of
fucking
fire
loss of
that
velocity is not a problem.
you've fired 15 salvos in the time that's taken you to actually land the shells that you fired, and
Yeah, and
more
they
like-
just sort of rake it. It's not that hard. Like I'm doing that right now. I'm speaking to you as I'm using 5-inch 38s. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like
I find
it's-
though that
it
by the
ain't that
time
hard.
that my shells have actually contacted the target, I've adjusted so hard because I fired 20 salvos that haven't hit the enemy, that I fired another 20 salvos and one of them has hit something and then the other 19 haven't.
you have to sort of look at the arc as it's flying in the air.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
can't
important
see
thing.
anything. I have about 10 degrees of vision, or I pop out of camera, can't see the tracers because the sky is laser white. And
I don't know what your graphics settings are, but that's a
Okay.
worry
I
in
don't
its
know,
own right.
but like,
That's a
okay, so
4K.
if I'm out of scope, yeah, the game is dark. If I go into the scope, it's like there's a white filter on everything. So
That is
because
really
for some reason,
strange,
the
yeah,
scope
that's-
just increases brightness constantly.
Yeah, it
And-
does mess with brightness in general. So
And then
I
naval
don't-
maps
like,
are
I'm
always
just trying it right now. I don't have major visibility issues right now, so I think you have to check your graphics settings and
But maps specifically are always ridiculously bright.
that's
And you're
true.
constantly staring into the nuclear sun.
That's not true.
I'm
that's like
looking at blue
50-50
skies right
though.
now. I haven't really experienced visibility problems. This might be a graphic setting issue because I don't really seem to struggle with visibility issues. I think overall, right now, I am. Yeah, like right now, I'm just murdering a leopard right
That's
in
fine.
front of
I'm
me.
just looking to see if there's a brightness
sort of
setting, which there doesn't appear to be.
There is
zooming in and zooming out right now in my scope, and I'm not really
No,
observing
not
a
zooming
noticeable
in and
difference.
out in the scope.
No, I mean I'm in
scope
scope,
versus-
out scope.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm pressing
yeah.
shift basically.
Um,
I
but
don't
like,
see a difference.
If I go out
Really,
of
really
scope, it's dark,
So-
like I'm under a cloud, and if I go in scope, it's bright, like I've got
I
a
can
light
s-
shining on me.
I don't know if you're gonna do this, save your config file, but I can send you my config file and see if that works for you.
I'd say, I'd say I'd send you my config file, but it might melt your computer.
Yeah, mine's not exactly a high-end PC.
Yeah, so honestly, one thing in Warfare is the global illumination quality is fucking ass to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but I don't think I've been noticing any particular concerns with regards to visibility in my scope. Like, that's the thing.
It's not necessarily also that the brightness goes up, it's that the brightness goes up somewhat, and then the saturation seems to drop.
Yeah, like
Is there a
with,
problem with higher graphic settings or something? Because I'm on, like, medium, effectively.
Well, then you
And-
also have...
Oh,
you
is that
also
clear?
have an issue with like UI scaling, because I run in 4K, and the little circle that you target with is like a 1/4 inch
Yeah.
across.
I will comment that I have very clear contrast between the targets, the water, the shell drop indicator, the bearing indicator. Like, it's all pretty well defined. And I think if you see the videos I have, you can see that.
Your
right?
green looks way brighter than my green, and your circle is like twice the size. So I'm just gonna pop in VoIP like my scope view right now, and then I'm gonna tab
That
out of
significantly
scope.
does help, I will say. If I didn't have the ability to see the target, I would, or where my point of aim was nearly as easily, that would be a problem. Yeah, so your
Lord, I fired 500
shell
shells.
indicator is surprisingly small.
Freaking tiny. Yeah.
And I can kind of see what you mean by the like. It looks hazy. Your screen looks
Yeah.
hazy,
And it
in
doesn't
terms
when
of,
I'm
like,
out of scope.
Color contrast isn't very. Yeah, that is quite problematic. So if you look at my screen, I don't really have a good right now. I just respawned,
And
but here.
this gets especially worse whenever it's brighter.
But you can already see a difference, right? Like my scope looks a lot more comfortable.
Yours just looks a lot grayer.
Yeah,
But
but
then
it's
again, that's
also
probably
better
the lighting
contrast.
issues. Yeah,
That's-
your contrast
that's
is way less annoying.
That's
Saturation's
what my
better.
game is like.
Yeah, yours is
Speaking,
fuzzy
like,
too.
I'm not really in a.
Yeah, almost. I think it has to do with graphics because for me everything is white at the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's actually decent colors. Like I can see what I'm looking at. Where your screens look kind of hazy.
The
Like,
thing is,
it does look
I
like
can
there's some
make
sort of-
things out quite well at a distance and stuff, right? Like, I'm often seeing targets that people I'm talking to aren't seeing for some reason. Despite the
So
fact
because
that
you have
it's...
some global illumination thing, something disabled, like one of the options, because I think
I mean, I can show you my graphics options or what's in the game. Because
Yeah, I'll show once I go to
have-
match.
could be because you are disable some option, that's why they are giving you
Yes,
this
I did
kind of
disable-
handicap.
I have every
Yeah,
setting
I
on
disabled
max
some
now.
options for here. I'll post. I have some things that are just literally off because
Admittedly, I could probably mess with the post-processing stuff, and that might work a bit, because I haven't touched the post-processing thing since, like, 2013. But
I'm pretty sure they removed post-processing.
probably because people were using it to bypass night vision.
Hey,
Rappa. But you can still do that on your
That's BB.
PC here. You just up the gamma.
What am I being shot by? Oh, right, there's actually enemy to the left now. Maybe. No,
But
that's
yeah,
a
this is
convoy.
what my settings look like. Yeah, so it's surprisingly low end. Outside of it, it's just shy of ELQ in a lot of ways. But overall, like, yeah, I mean, in this sense, Naval looks pretty decent in identifying targets, essentially. And I think this actually might have a significant impact, because for me, it makes a lot in terms of advantage for first target acquisition, shot priority, etc.
Help it with the carpet.
Oh, kitty,
I have a furry moron attacking my floor.
Primora.
As they do.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, won't stop attacking the fucking couch.
Fluffy furry
Oh,
moron.
this one doesn't attack anything except my carpet.
Nice.
What
She also
am I?
likes riding around like a parrot. Wait, stop it.
Paint orange and she'd be a carrot.
Oh, that poor fucking one fucking boat at A being targeted by everyone.
honestly, I think it might. No, it
Kind
doesn't.
of managed to sail past the A point. I'm running out of shells.
And before it's fucking old video card support, and without that, you're just kind of.
I'm running a 3080 Ti.
Yeah, I know. My point is that the toggle.
I have
In-game.
never seen anybody call it Thai.
Well, it's short for titanium or something or like that, isn't it?
Is it?
It's short for Titan.
3080 Ti. I never
It's
heard somebody
T is
say Thai.
capitalized and I isn't.
Like, Nvidia called it TI in one of the presentations.
It did?
Interesting. I hear. I usually hear TI.
Oh, there's
That's where
Nikoma.
what I hear.
Oh wait, I have a single salvo of AP left.
Oh boy,
That's
fresh
nice.
meat
Wow.
today.
You
Get to it.
parsley.
No, this is a first. This is the first time I fired half a magazine in Pittsburgh and not been killed.
That's nice.
Success.
I'm just trying to see. So, yeah, no, this is
Oh,
a.
my torpedo.
And my 5-inch HE is hitting the rudder on the Ikoma because
Oh,
he
look at
threw
that
magic
now,
water
thank
on it.
So, is there still, like, a way to.
But honestly, I think if UI scaling was a thing, this would be a bit more helpful, especially since they're making so many UI elements vectors now.
That would be nice. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I would like to make my bearing indicator surprisingly annoyingly large, as strange as that sounds.
Yeah,
The
so.
bearing indicator being bigger would be nice, yeah.
Jorm,
Yeah.
I think one of the issues might be SSAO.
Hmm.
Because I just lowered it and it, like, made tracers a lot more visible for me.
Yeah,
That's
I have
helpful.
to say a big issue I have is that tracers completely blank out against the sky.
Yeah, exactly. I have the same because
Which,
I can only
admittedly-
see my traces about a half second before impact.
That might explain the discrepancy. I don't really have a tracer problem on my end. I don't really worry about the location of tracers versus the sky or anything. I just sort of...
Admittedly, if they gave us settings for the game that weren't just bright daylight,
If
that
they
wouldn't
would
be an
have
issue.
kept post-effects settings, which made the game actually look very good,
Can't have that.
can't have you cheating
Yeah.
Nightmare, am I right?
They already won the industry awards.
You
Therefore,
gotta sell them NVG mods, huh?
easy.
Wait, what did they actually win the
They
industry
won some
award?
industry awards back in like 2013 to 2014. Even I think in 2016 they won some. And people in the Russian community started joking that this game is actually just a virtual museum and an industry showcase device.
well, I mean, it kinda is.
Yes, that's not entirely
This
wrong.
is
In fact,
this is a tech demo with a game tape to it.
yeah. But the game side is just to fund the tech demo.
Yeah,
Wait, is it actually?
basically,
No,
practically speaking.
In practice, that's what you often see the joke as, because it's the game, at least early on, was sort of, I don't know if I would say clout chasing, but it really stuck to visual fidelity and performance fidelity, etc. And like these days, I think it's more classically a game in the way that
that?
it markets
Oh,
itself
it's an
and the way that it
Elving.
prioritizes development.
I'm about to
But back in the day, it
suck
was the sort of industry darling in the sense that it was very focused on making the game work in a very nice way and
protected
feel
my ass.
nice, despite
Please,
issues.
why won't they surrender on aid? This is a fucking slaughter.
It's hilarious.
so- A consequent critique from the community, from the Russian side at the very least, was call
Where's
this
the game?
game sort of... Well, no, they sarcastically call it the virtual museum.
Yeah. Lord. Okay. We've managed to just kill them so hard they've lost 4,000 tickets, basically, because they just keep spawning on A.
Nice.
Understandable.
I'm
I like
trying
it
to see
when-
if I can change my display settings.
Aye, aye, aye.
Will I have enough time to spawn in? I don't
Oh,
know
we're capping the
actually.
point now.
Oh, finally.
Okay, time to turn around and go to D.
Oh,
Out, that's in my ass. It's a cocktail.
Fortnite Battle Pass.
Please don't battle pass.
battle pass.
Attention to the map.
It's a lyric.
Can I use baton pass?
Attack the D point.
Attack the team.
Oh yeah, new Pokemon comes out in November.
Bro, fucking weed Pokemon.
Let's go. Oh,
What? No,
I'm just
I
gonna go
feel like I missed a
quickly
joke.
check.
Oh, the fucking weird green cat thing.
Yes.
Not really that weird compared to a lot of.
Fucking hell.
So long as those
I'm
front
gonna
feet stay on the floor.
send this an Omni-Man.
Wow, the what? Elbing killed the Cleveland. He just exploded.
I really don't see how.
Amazing.
But yeah, the reason I don't consider Elbing to be worth existing is that your effective, like, DPM is half of an Ailwin.
Yeah, no, Elbing is a shit. It's a piece of filler content that sort of, yeah, it's just
Like,
there.
what was the point in the amount of dev?
We needed more 4-7s in the German tree, that was all.
Elbing was around for World War I, right?
Elbing was sunk at Jutland.
Okay, perfect. Then that's why. So we can have the historical reenact. It's for Sky's World War mode server. That's what it's for.
But that's mostly World War II stuff.
Right.
I
The
should
point
put
is
my
that
AA
we are
back
getting more
together
stuff
since
for
this
World War I
one.
scenarios. We should petition for them to add things like Aurora. I was thinking they add Russell Japanese war stuff. You'd get really old.
Gaijin wouldn't do that because they think people think that actual battleship gameplay would be too slow, so they insist on making battleships explosive.
They just come on, just add. Well, they have Tsukaba class, which is like just after. It's 1905, basically the same year.
Oh yeah, I was gonna look and see if what British things
British
Royal
things.
Armored Royal Armored Cruisers? Nah. Ah, I think I've spoken more in the last hour than I have all week.
Mood.
Nice.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Monmouth class armored cruisers, 10,000 ton, also called the County class.
The county prequel.
Well, the World
Right,
War I
everybody,
county.
follow me towards D.
As you do.
Mass insertion event is about to occur.
Oh, I got Golden Bay. Fuck my life. Hate this man.
Honestly, with this fucking battle group that we have going, I don't think they can stop us anymore.
Can a little bit.
Yeah, I can kind of see what they
Bendigo.
were going with there.
Oh,
So
okay, you're a Kronstadt, so no stopping there.
Hey, one of your friends in my Navy has just set our Bassard on fire.
who is it?
It's Omega Infinita. In his 206, he
Oh.
shot an Astra player. That was our man. Fucking redeemed a Bassard without the
I think we are
anti-ship missiles.
Defend the B point.
They put fucking yachts on this map. That's adorable. There's just yachts in the middle of like cargo ships. Very realistic. This is
amazing.
oh
Attack
Jesus.
the D
So this
point.
county class, right, had a twin mount fore and aft, 6-inch guns, and then 10 singles, 5 per side.
Okay.
And that's an armored cruiser from 1903,
Attack the D point.
which you then had the Devonshire class, the Duke of Edinburgh class, the Warrior class, and then the Minotaur. Minotaur being the last
That's
class
one with
of-
the 10-inch guns, yeah? Or
9.2s.
something like that. Ah. So 233.
So twin 9.2s and then 7.5s in singles. The Warrior beforehand were 6 single 9.2s, 4 single 7.5s. So you can kind of see how there was a push for larger battery throughout the armored cruisers. So,
Yes.
you know, 1903 it's 6-inch guns, 19 whatever it was 7.5s and 9s, and then it was 9s and yeah. So Dreadnought armored cruisers going up to 12 kind of made sense because just convenience.
Yeah, it was an organic progression. I think the
Issue being
big question was
they then
basically
went, these have the same guns as battleships, therefore we'll put them in the battle line.
yeah, basically it's that they had pure armament at that point, and pure armament sort of brought in brain rot.
Like the Royal Navy didn't have that issue to begin with.
I mean, they got to the pretty successful position before I think major brain rot set in.
The issue is that navies in peacetime tend to do bad things together.
Right.
Hostile teams capping F.
The PLA actually called it peace disease. So I'm like,
They've backdoored us.
Oh,
They're in our anus.
they went through our fucking back door.
They've capped the F point.
oh, they actually succeeded. Okay.
Yeah, as in the first we heard that they were capping the F point was they've capped the F point.
Oh,
That's why when I'm playing EC, I like to pay attention to the kill feed, because you'll see the Consularity stuff and you go, oh, okay. And then Bale spawn.
To be fair, I've kind of been paying more attention to this whole argument debate thing we've been having for the last hour.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, like it's a fairly like impromptu, informal
Great.
rant hall. I wanted to say chat room, but what's the sort of louder version of that?
Forum?
It's basically the same thing.
I mean a forum as in a stand there and
Roman
shouts
one.
at people forum.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's the term for a louder chat room? A pub.
We need to get some alcohol in
Actually,
here
in
then.
theory, pubs can be quiet.
I'm not allowed to drink.
Oh, are you in a competition or something?
Yes.
Oh,
Or well, training to be. Well, I'm not allowed to drink. I'm not allowed to drink.
so
It's just
you
like-
must drink. You're only allowed to be inebriated.
Yeah, there's no water allowed. Just
Pretty much.
No, not permitted to be sober.
Like after I think January 8th or something, I'm not allowed to drink for like half a year.
Interesting.
Have fun.
To be fair, you'll probably save
But-
money there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I've really reduced drinking habits already, and
Alcohol is not cheap.
Especially with the
Dude,
amount of taxes.
Oh, that Lubeck just
the
fucking
thing is,
sent it.
like I usually when I go out, it's at my student society, which has like pretty cheap beer,
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
like €1.50 for a beer.
That is
Pretty
cheap.
good, like,
Yeah.
like a pint or a can?
$2.50 is a pint, I think.
Okay,
No.
I mean, that's still an affordable pint, though.
Wait,
Oh yeah,
wait. How big it? Wait, are you saying 250 as in a unit of measurement or money?
money.
Okay,
And a pint is half a liter.
right.
Yeah.
So that's
We also have
a bit
cans
short.
we also have cans for which are a liter and a half, which are €7. Or something like that.
typical metric people shorting you 2 shots in a pint.
Tragic.
Well,
Hey!
As a fun
Sorry,
fact, though, an American fluid ounce is actually larger than a British fluid ounce.
even as an ounce, like I never know what an ounce is. It's like,
Okay.
oh yeah,
It depends.
oh,
So, with the wine gallon, which is based on the Winchester gallon, which is the Old English measurement that the Americans use,
just use
There's-
liters.
there are 16
Yeah.
ounces in a pint.
Maybe
The
in the next.
imperial pint, however,
How much is a
made up of-
pint?
a British pint's 568 milliliters.
Ah,
You should visit Canada, where we use both imperial and metric. And we
Yeah.
use both British and American imperial.
Except American isn't imperial. U.S. customary units are not imperial because the whole point
We
of
just call it
imperial.
American imperial.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, though. Is British imperial units were created as a way of standardizing all of the various different previous systems, which the Americans use an amalgamation of said various previous systems.
Right, and then we came along and went, you know what? We're neighbors with the Americans. We're a British subject. We'll just fucking make
Mess
it an
everything.
abomination. We will spit in the face of God.
Isn't that just the existence of Canada in general?
Yeah, that is a correct
The
statement.
unholy abomination of English and French at the same time.
What a lovely.
The obscene and sort of, yeah, it is the Sodom and Gomorrah of the North, in the sense that it is just a spit in the face of.
also,
It is a disgrace to God.
the fucking
We are indeed.
the fucking porn store decal got released.
Yes, it did.
Fucking Christ.
Return to
Yeah.
Battlefield.
Who came up with that?
She actually plays War Thunder.
I know.
Right, but the thing is, a Gaijin exec somewhere or somebody in marketing had to know that, and they had to know that how exactly?
I mean,
No,
Mike is
like,
the community
shit.
manager, so
Crap. Well,
Mike getting lucky?
it's more like outreach had to happen for this sort of negotiation to be underway. So somebody was really diligent with their outreach. They were reaching out for something, all right.
Well, that would also be reaching back in.
Yeah,
oh,
Reaching down under, am I right?
reaching around.
No, this isn't an Australian ad.
Reaching down under. I can't do an Australian accent.
That was absolutely atrocious, yes.
I know.
Oh,
Like, at the rowing club, we have slash student rowing society. I don't know what to call it in English. We just call it the rowing association.
a rowing
Club
club.
is probably fine.
Rowing
Yeah.
club would be the sort
Yeah,
of
that's
typical,
like-
yeah.
Rowing club makes it seem like it's just rowing, but it's not.
Well,
I mean, there isn't really a club out there that's just whatever they say on the tin, so to speak.
Student
There-
rowing club. That's it.
Right.
So, we have a few international students, and we really are pretty much a Dutch club. So we don't get a lot of internationals, but these are like the most fun internationals I've ever encountered. There's like a bunch
National
of
students are pretty great.
there's a bunch of Australians who are like the greatest people ever.
Yeah, fair.
So much fun to talk to.
Easy to blow up. Sorry, I don't mean the Australian. I'm shooting an Ognivoy, and he is unwilling to renegotiate his existence from 1 place to 5.
Oknavoy is just, yeah.
He is dying. He's absolutely
Yeah,
getting
Oknavoy
but-
is like 2/3 of a Tashkent.
Yes.
Oh,
Now
Tashkent,
he is 1/3 because I knocked out one of his turrets.
you have been degraded from 2/3 trash can to 1/3 trash can.
Easy.
I mean, I call the dash can trash can.
Yeah, that's the World Warship sort of community moniker for the ship. Because in World Warship, she was also a piece of garbage. So-
I mean, in Warframe she isn't that bad.
no, she's great, but the name sticks.
He's
I mean,
It's tradition.
one of the
the
best.
same goes for the fucking shit barn.
Yes.
I mean, in Warframe it's kind of shit.
Yes, in World of Tanks, they actually buffed the fuck out of it, so now it's pretty good. But the name stuck because it's tradition.
Yeah, exactly. Some people try to call it a death barn, but it's still a shit barn.
The other name is Hesh Barn, but
Is it?
yeah, Hesh Barn works because it's a barn and it fires Hesh.
Well,
I mean-
I've always called it the battle barn. Because
Val Barn, yeah.
alliteration.
I call it the death barn or shit barn.
Shit Barn and Hesh Barn are the two that I know are widely used in the community.
Yeah, like after it got buffed like hell, it got some people name it a shit barn, the death barn, because well, it will fucking one-shot you now.
The World of Tanks one, the main reason that it got buffed was mostly just soft stats. It handles a lot better now, and the reason was because they have an FE215B183 in that game, and that
Yeah,
thing used to be just a flat upgrade. I mean, I have it still. They
You can't
If you
get
ha-
it anymore, so the shit barn is the only option, is what
Shit Barn is the only it's the only sort of tech tree
option if you're
available.
not a old player.
Sorry,
The
what?
main thing is like they added a paper tank destroyer SPG shaped object.
Yeah, I'm well aware of this.
But that was basically why it was the ship barn, because it was just downgrade.
Yeah.
But
And
right
the-
now,
251B. It was called the Death Star, wasn't it?
that actually took the name away from the Yagdpanzer 100, which then got renamed to Jaeger. But yeah, it got the name Death Star. And the name Death Star in War Thunder refers to the G8N instead,
Yeah.
because
It used to be scary.
it still kind of is. It's just a shadow of what it used to be, just because there's a lot of scarier things and there's a lot of scarier fighters. So, and people learn to aim, so you can reach out to far greater ranges. But overall, like, the name Death Star stuck to that thing. Alternatively, Magic School Bus because of the American paint, which is bright yellow.
I don't think there's a lot of those kind of nicknames in War Thunder.
There are. It's just you have to know where to look. We have more vehicles in this game, so it sort of like dilutes itself. Like we don't call the VFM the toaster, even though they do call it that in World of Tanks. And yes, they do
People have
in World of
referred to it
Tanks.
as a toaster.
Which VFM?
The
Pretty-
88 on the with the pop-up sides,
Yeah, it's called the toaster in World of Tanks.
because
Wait,
for all
which
intents
one?
and purposes, the one that was it was an event vehicle.
The fucking
Yes.
German box thing with a long 88.
Yeah, so you
Ooh.
flip up the sides and
Oh.
it's like a toaster. And in World of Tanks, it only has the flipped up sides version, so...
I was
Hey,
thinking
it
of the British
actually
Flight
worked.
Tank.
Oh, no. The toaster is the VFM.
Yeah, the toaster. Yeah. Yeah, that was
In the game, it's...
It's kind of like when it got released, there was still a bunch of hype and hate around it.
Yeah, it's still, in its own way, a very interesting vehicle and fucking 4-second reload, and it doesn't fuse most shells, but there's a lot of other busted shit now at that bracket,
Opti, my
so...
AA actually
Yeah,
worked
but-
for once.
Like,
Nice.
It shot down
I
a
still remember at the
P-51 that was
time-
diving straight at me with no ordnance.
like when that thing got released, it was like the most broken tank in existence because it just wouldn't die.
Yes. And then
Since
they added hull break. Crap.
yeah, because it didn't have hull break,
Ooh, I feel
Yes.
sorry for that guy.
which is why.
But these days, the main thing that really curtails it, both pressure damage and then I think sort of in a similar, if not more important, fold autocannons.
50 cals.
Buff 50s are big, yeah,
50 cal copper.
because they used to not be able to penetrate after a while. And KE postman was also worse back then as well. There's a lot of factors that changed the outlook on that vehicle.
Like the M2s got buffed quite a bit.
Oh,
I realize I should probably sell these materials.
on the topic of graphics issues, it's worth noting that whenever I record this and I look at the video afterwards, it's way more saturated.
Whack.
Maybe
Yeah,
just-
I've just set my AMD settings up so the saturation is less, and the
Yeah.
brightness and contrast is a bit decreased, and brightness is a bit increased.
And then once I've uploaded it to YouTube and YouTube gets its grimy mitts on it, it's even more saturated.
You may want to check your encoder settings. I don't know if it's...
I think it might just...
What do you upload it as a file?
It's
just
MKV.
MP4? Oh, okay. I don't know then.
I think we've had a conversation about MKVs before. I feel like that's something we've
Yeah,
discussed.
I believe it is one of the compatible.
Yeah, because
So
it's
it
an
should be
open source. It's an open standard.
It's more importantly, it's the one like whether it's one of the file types that the game YouTube likes is the big question. 'Cause YouTube doesn't sort of behave well with a lot of them.
Yeah. I have 1,350 shells in the magazine for Pittsburgh. Total, when I spawn, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
they won't
I have
stop
237.
spawning.
Oh wow, that is
Please,
quite
I
a.
can't hear
quite
over
a
my
depletion.
fucking AAA.
Don't worry, you'll run out of ammo eventually. The
Okay.
Belfast keeps spawning.
Guys, you can't cap it if
Can't
Also,
cap it if they keep spawning.
I fucking had
that too, but we need to get closer to
Oh,
it.
I finished off today's whatchamacallit, the event.
good.
Cool.
so
This poor idiot in the
Already.
Belfast.
To the designated
Finished.
square.
something completely different. I'm currently in selection for a first year's aids on national level with rowing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's like training is fucking intensive as shit. We had like anaerobic terminus training today, which is just sit a bit below your the point where you're going to start producing acids. So you
Right.
pretty much grow muscle, all that. Just heart rate 190. That just
Jesus.
die. This is 3 times 10 minutes with 5-minute breaks. It's tough, and just like
Yeah,
at the end, my entire shirt is soaked with sweat. It's
Well
not
done.
fun.
Good job.
Trust me.
It's type 2 fun, I'd imagine, where you can look back upon it fondly, but in the moment you're having a hell of a time.
Yeah, in the moment you're in pain. Everything wants to stop.
Stop
That's-
fucking spawning!
That's why I do bike touring. Bike touring is very beautiful and very fun, but good fucking lord, black flies and the heat and dust and the cars and highways are not fun to ride on in the moment. But
Oh
they
yeah,
have
you guys have to like ride on highways and all that.
yes.
God.
Actually, it's
Yeah.
it's worse in Japan.
The bike.
Here we have like a good. No, it's the Highway 99 for us, right? That's what. So my dad and I'd like to do this cross Canada thing where we do Trans-Canada Highway, sort of cycling in between the provinces, right?
Yeah.
The shoulders are about like 2 meters. It's pretty decent, right? So you have a decent amount of leeway to swerve and stuff. That said, the road condition is variable and there's a lot of things on the road that can give you a bad time, like torn up tires, carcasses, rocks. There's more than a few cases of people just dying because a tiny rock got thrown by a truck tire and it landed. Like you may have a helmet,
Flipped him
but you
flat.
don't. It hit the guy in the temple actually, and down he went.
Yeah, like your helmet isn't supposed to protect you all after like you used it.
No, it's not even that. Like, it's not. We know to replace it when it falls. Although my dad has a habit of not wearing helmets, but that's because he's from an
Belfast,
had
get
mines.
the fuck out of here!
He
Isn't your
holds
dad
a lot.
also, isn't your dad also built like a tank?
Yes, he holds a lot of speed records in cycling. Strangely, he still holds one.
Yuri Japanese
In time
mentioned kind of
trials.
scary.
I think I am currently on like 100 meter sprint in, I think, the top 10 of my club.
Nice. It's not so much sprinting. He did racing, but he really focused in on endurance.
Yeah.
So he did bike touring, and
Like for me, my anaerobic endurance for that's like longer distance sprints
yes,
and long distance in general is kind of shit. But like out of everyone doing the same selection as I'm like 10 seconds faster than them. Well, in split
Nice.
time on 100 meters.
that is pretty impressive. I'm sort of the inverse. I am really not that good at sort of, I guess you could say aerobic
I also have
exercise, but
I have
peak
massive
endurance,
legs.
I think, for daily. Yeah, no, my legs are most of my height as well. The main thing is just
BMS
that I
effects.
focused on
Mine are long and thick.
my long and I think I've degenerated a bit since pandemic, but otherwise, the main thing is just that my peak was like 200 kilometers a day cycling, and that's basically my measure. The benefit is like basically all you have to do is learn how to pick a constant speed you're comfortable with. So I was around 20 kilometers an hour daily, and you can sort of extrapolate from there.
10 hours.
Yeah.
How do
You
you
have a
find
break
time
in the
for
middle.
that?
No vacation.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like, I know bike touring, like bike touring translates to commuting, and commuting is convenient there, right? But it's, I mean, like the main thing is just that you build stamina for that through, like in fact, just
exactly.
commuting. It's a great way to do it. And then when you're starting to prep for the trip, you just sort of like you start doing some joy rides, right? And that gets you a bit more time and a bit more distance, and you do about a week or two of that, and then you're ready for the vacation.
Yeah, I kind of wanna, like, there's Roman Regatta here, which is 100 kilometers.
Can these idiots give up and die already?
So that's just like, that's not a, you can start to do it in one go, but like, compared to cycling, which muscle groups are kind of similar, just cycling doesn't use your upper body a lot, rowing really does. It's a lot, it's your entire body.
Rowing would be your entire body, wouldn't it? Yeah, because you're racing, moving back and forth, and
upper body weights, usage of your arms, back, coincidentally with your arms, core.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot.
It
Coincidentally,
looks pretty fun. I would have to sort of like completely redo my workout for that, but I wouldn't mind it.
It's a lot of fun. Like for a smaller number, it's harder to. It's kind of hard to learn, especially like the single.
Right.
Because with single, you sit on top of it. Balance.
My experience with loading has been kayaking, a bit of canoeing, and then
that's also so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's fun. We mostly did it for scouts, where we had to sort of kayak to remote campsites, and my last time I did that, we kayaked to a location remote off Sunshine Coast, so it's basically off from a relatively remote part of the north, and then 30-kilometer-hour winds came in.
Oh Jesus!
It was raining sideways.
So 100 kilometers, it's done in, I think, 3 stops, and then takes like 10 hours.
Okay.
But you go roughly about 80 kilometers an hour, but this is with 8 dudes giving it all they got. Just because resistance in water is so much more than on land.
Yes, that's huge. I don't know about the energy conversions between rowing and running, but I know from biking to running takes seven times the amount of energy compared to cycling for a given distance. That was, in fact, we calculated that out because we had a run for charity, and some people asked if they could cycle, and so we did an energy conversion to determine how much more they need to cycle for the equivalent dollar, essentially.
So on the erg, which is supposed to give resistance and distance comparable to a boat, in 20 minutes, so I have to do some calculations.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Because I burned around 1,000 calories during 3 times 10 minutes. And this is doing 1:52 splits. That's 1 minute 52 seconds for 100 meters. 100, I mean 500.
Okay.
So during 10 minutes.
No, they finally gave
by-
up on D. Sorry.
No, we just got lucky.
So that is 112 seconds.
Finally got out the coastal authorities.
So that is 600 divided by 112.
And we won.
So I did
Oh god.
about 8 kilometers during in 30 minutes of work, burning 1,000 calories, roughly.
Nice.
I think that's a bit more than running.
Yeah, that's substantial. That's a
Yeah. This is also on a machine on land. So
Right. But we're like looking at distance equivalencies. I'd say it's, I guess, comparable, if not even in some ways more